Hi, we're glowing today. The sun's shining in the room, if you can see, and it's making everything glowy. Um, I'm knitting. Yesterday, I started on a hat, and it started turning into like a beanie, and I didn't want it to be like a beanie. I wanted it to be, you know, a hat, and so I'm starting over. And then I didn't do the brim because I thought I was going to do something different. So now I decided to do the brim and just redesign it. That's what happens, You start doing something and all of a sudden you want to redesign. So that's what I'm doing right now. But I thought before I do my little tutorial later, I would get on and talk to you about how I started knitting. I know I talked about how I began crocheting, but I don't think I ever got on and told you the story of how I began to knit. Hold on, let me just grab this little stitch. So, I said this before. I really, really, really wanted to learn to crochet. Like my mom, oh my goodness. She could crochet anything. If you had a favorite character, like my brother loves Smurfs, she just would like whip up Smurfs. Um, for school, the teacher, like, I was a goody two shoe. No, but I was in school, and um, the teachers would always like do games and things where you can like, okay, so like say we each had tables, so there was like groups of kids in the tables, and each group, if you were good and quiet. Like say you cleaned up all your things you were supposed to clean up and you were quiet, you won a token. And then the group that got the most tokens would get a prize. Well, because my mom knew how to crochet, the teachers would always ask my mom if she could make the prizes. My mom, for the boys, would make little Ninja Turtles, and for the girls, she'd make these cute little ballerina bears. But even though, and like I said, I was a good teacher, so I would always win, but because my mom would make them for me, I would give them to somebody else because I didn't feel like it was fair. Um, that my mom, I had like so many of them. So anyway, like I said, like she could crochet like nobody's business. Man, she did like for a lot at that time. I don't know, like it was like huge to have doilies in at weddings, like on each table for like decorations have like doilies holding candles or whatever, and everybody would always get my mom to do them. She would make I'm telling you, man, like I wish I had one of her doilies because I would definitely send it to Crystal. I like, of course it's my mom, so I want to boost her, but no, truly, I've never seen a doily like my mom would make. It was just so pretty. It wasn't the typical like pineapple, that little pineapple thing. I don't know, like she would have like flowers in it, just so pretty. And she would use that thread and then she would starch it to make it like stiff. But boy, she used to just make the most gorgeous things ever. And I was always just floored. And my dad would be too, because he would always like, hey, can you make this person this? Can you make this person that? Which was so cute. But yeah, so I wanted to do that. Like I was really big into making jewelry. Like I love beads and stuff. I still do. Well, I make my jewelry, my little bracelets and stuff. But I was like really big on that, but I really truly wanted to crochet. So, um, my mom tried to show, like she would say, okay, this is what you do. You just take the yarn, you chain up. I'm like, you what? Like I don't know how to do that. So I could do a chain, but I could not for the life of me go back into that chain and do like um, you know, your single crochets back into the chain. Like I just couldn't do it. I was like, man, like what is going on? So my mom had a whole bunch of knitting needles, and I'm talking like the old school granny type knitting needles, those straight metal needles. So I was like, well, I'm gonna learn how to do this. And she had like, well, I still have them, books beyond books of crochet and also knitting. And so I thought, well, I'll read a book. And it was like alien language. I just couldn't do it. And I don't know why I could not figure out how to crochet. Like I just couldn't. But I could knitting. I started reading the knitting books and I had her straight needles and I learned. And I don't know, I mean, for some reason knitting was just like easy and I could do it, but I couldn't do crochet. So, um, yeah, and at that time, all I knew was like there were sorry, my hair started itching my ear. All I knew was they were like the straight metal needles. That's all I knew of, and that's all my mom knew of. So I started knitting scarves. I taught myself how to knit hats, but just regular hats. Nothing fancy, no design in it. Then I started teaching myself how to stripe, like add color to it, and I would add like stripes to my hats or stripes to my scarves, things like that. But again, nothing fancy. Like I didn't know how to do cabling or anything that. And my mom knew nothing. Like she had all the knitting needles, but she didn't know how to knit or purl or anything like that. So I just and at that time there was no YouTube. Like I was 13, so there was like no YouTube or anything like that. And I just kept at that. Um, she bought me books on like how to make sweaters, so I tried to like make sweaters and things like that. Um, knitted blankets. So yeah, and then fast forward to when I got pregnant with my son. I was on Facebook and somebody was loom knitting. Now I knew how to knit, but for some reason loom knitting just looked so beyond cool. I was like, "Oh my goodness, like I want to do this." And so my mom and Jeff, they had bought me, when I say every single loom, I mean I was so beyond spoiled. Like every single loom you could think of, I had. I had, which I had to find because if I find my Martha Stewart one, I'll send it to Mama Llama Kayla because Mama Kayla because she loom knits and she would really really love the Martha Stewart one. It's interchangeable. You can make it small, big, the full length of a blanket. You can put it into a sock loom like, and it has a booklet. So I think I have it stored upstairs. So anyway, um yeah, I had sock looms, I had blanket looms, every single hat loom you can think of, even the rarest loom that everybody wanted. It was like this purple loom that was supposed to be the perfect hat loom ever. I had like four of them. I had, let me think, long looms, round looms, the Martha Stewart one. I had just all kinds of fancy loom hooks, like everything. Like seriously, every single loom like that you can think of, I had. Like I just had. I was doing booties, I was doing like all types of things. And then one day I was in a Facebook group called Good Knit Kisses, and it was all about looming and things. And there's this lady, and she loom knitted a Star Wars hat. It was the stormtroopers, and it said, "May the Force be with you." And I thought, oh my goodness, that is so cool. Like I could loom things. I can do like little designs in the looms, purling on the loom, all that kind of stuff. But I could not, I could do stripes in the looms, but I couldn't do like that, like the Fair Isle or the Gray F's that you would put in the what's it called? In your hat. So, like the Star Wars one. I was like, oh my goodness. Hold on, sorry. Gotta make sure this isn't twisted. So I was like, oh my goodness. I wanna do that. It's really important, well, for crochet too, um, when you're working in the round, that you do not twist your work. Like it's extremely important for knitting. It just gets you like this really weird. You can hide it a little bit in a crochet if it got twisted, but with the knitting, it's like nope. So I just gotta, cause I'm coming to the end, so I just gotta make sure it's not twisted. So anyway, there we go. There was like Loom Knit Kisses, and this woman, she did the Star Wars hat. I was like, I really want to do that. So I messaged her. I asked her, how did you do it? She explained it, but I was like, what? Like, I couldn't figure it out. So I was like, well, you know what? I know how to knit. I bet I could do this. So at that time, there was YouTube, and there was like YouTube tutorials because I was looking up Loom Knit um, graph hat and charts and how to loom knit a chart and everything like that, how to put like a little, and there was a woman teaching you how to do like a heart, and I'm like, oh, like how do you do it? Like it was so freaking hard. So, then all of a sudden I saw a knitting tutorial, knitting in the round, and I was like, hold on, there's circular needles? Like what? Like I had no clue. My mom had no clue because she's not a knitter. And I was like, oh my goodness, like there's circular knitting needles. I was floored. And so I started searching up, you know, um, doing my little research online. Hold on. Sorry, choking. I was like, hold on, did it stop? And then all of a sudden, no, it didn't. I had to take a sip. And anyway, so um, so I started doing my research and started going on YouTube and checking things out and learning all about circular knitting needles. Then there were interchangeable circular knitting needles, and I was like, what? So when I say I'm beyond spoiled, I'm beyond spoiled. Um, like I truly am. And I don't take that for granted either. I really, really, really don't. My mom, she went out and she didn't go out because at the time she was wheelchair bound, but she was like, to Jeff, go find these knitting needles. And they had it at Joann's and they only had one, and I still have them and I use them all the time. Denise interchangeable knitted needles. Say that 10 times fast. Knitted needles, and I love them. And what was so nice about it, now I did my research, is you need like a 16-inch hoop, I mean a circular band to do like the perfect hat. Um, and this set had it in the interchangeable one. It was the only set I could find that had it, and it was really pricey, but my mom got it for me, and I was like, oh my goodness. I can't believe I have it. Like, I was so happy. So then I went, oops, I did that wrong. Supposed to purl and I didn't. I knitted. So then I went and I started learning how to do like Fair Isle, and I watched videos on color changing and carrying, and the best techniques on how to carry your yarn, because you don't want to, they're called floaters, and so you don't want your floaters in your hat to be too far apart. Like you want it to be space between 4 stitches. The most you could do is 5, but you don't want to go any more than that because you would have like this long floater that, it just, your fingers can get caught in and it's just not good. So I was learning all about that. And then I did my very first Star Wars hat. I do have it, I believe, posted on my Instagram. It's gray. Maybe I do. I don't know if I do or not. It might be on my Facebook only, but it's gray and it's white stormtroopers and it says, "May the Force be with you." And it was the very first hat that I've ever done that way, and I made it for my brother. Um, I was so proud that I made it. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I did this." And it was just so cool. Um, uh, and so, yeah, that's how I started to learn how to knit and get into that. Um, then after that, I started, knitting more hats and other things and just I I can't pick like it truly I can't decide which one I love more. I know it's like okay, on Facebook groups, it is no joke. I'm in a Facebook group and I won't say what group it is, but if you even mention knitting, people flip. And I'm like, what? Because a lot of the times I will knit the brim but crochet the hat because I love the knitted brim versus the crocheted brim. Like the crocheted brim's like really bulky, but I love the stretch and the feel of the knitted. So I'll knit the brim and I always call it no shay because knit and crochet together, no shay. So I'm like, I no shade this hat mostly crocheted, but I knitted the brim. You knitted the brim, you can't have that in this group. I'm like, what? No, the admins don't care, but there's some picky people. I'm like, dang man, y'all are crazy. um they're cuckoo, really cuckoo. Then, what was I gonna say? Oh, people like flip if you get crochet and knit wrong. Now, I don't mind. I know what people mean, but I guess people are so used to like, um, watching old movies or something, and you see like the grandmother knitting. I mean, crochet and knitting, they get a bad rep thinking like only older people can do it. And I don't mean that in an ignorant way at all. So I hope I didn't offend anybody. I just meant like any age can crochet and or knit and people need to realize that it's not just some old lady and it's not ugly. You know what I mean? Like ugly Christmas sweaters or something like that. Then they got that because grandmothers would make their grandkids these sweaters, and the kids would think, "Oh, they're so ugly," and so that's how ugly Christmas sweater came about. But I'm thinking, what? Like, it's not ugly and it's not old, you know. So yeah. But anyway, a lot of them in the group, if you, they'd be like, well, I almost had an order today until somebody called a knit and I flipped out on them. But oh well, it was worth it. I'm thinking, why would you flip out on them? Like it's an honest mistake. Um, so yeah, like I guess somebody wanted something. They're like, "Hey, can you knit this for me?" And the lady goes, "I guess so." And they said it, and here it was crocheted. It was like crocheted leg warmers or something. And she was like, "Well, that's crochet. That's not knit. So which one do you want?" And I guess she was like rude about it, and she lost an order. And like, you don't be like that. You could say, "Well, I can do that, but that's crochet." Be nice about it. Don't be rude. I don't understand people. I'm never rude. And I get a lot of people saying, "Hey, can you knit this for me?" Or like family members be like, "Hey, you still do that knitting stuff?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do both knitting or crochet. Like, I just be nice about it. It's all working with yarn. So, yeah. But some of them people are really like snooty about it. Flipping out. The only thing I really flip out about, and I truly flip out about it, is this. it is really, really hard to make like headbands and things like that when you have Michaels and at the time AC Moore's and Joann's, and they have like the cheapy versions of scarves hanging up, hats, and headbands and things. And they have them hanging up, but yet they're selling yarn. This is my problem. I feel like you have so many people buying the yarn and supporting your store that for you to support them, you shouldn't sell, um, man-made or machine-made, I should say, knitting uh, items, like the headbands and the boot cuffs. And they're so poorly knitted. Like, I'm so sorry again. Again, I'm so sorry. I, um, I took a picture once or a video of it once, way before YouTube. I think I posted on my Facebook my little rant. But it was at AC Moore's. I love the AC Moore's. But anyway, it was at AC Moore's and they had like these cheapy boot cuffs. And it was like a pair of boot cuffs and a hat for like $5. And I was like, this right here is why people would rather, ditch the good stuff that's, you know, really nicely made and come for this poor quality that the first time they throw it in the washer, it's going to fall apart. And I bought it. And I did it. I bought it. I put it in the washer. I didn't put it on anything. I actually put it on delicate because it said you can wash it. So I did everything that you could do. Put it in the washer, put it on delicate, and the thing fell apart. I was like, okay, maybe this is just a faulty one. Bought 3 more sets, did the same thing. And after like they all just fell apart. They overly stretched. Some of them weren't even tied in right. And it's like, I don't sell, like, my hats are 15. I know. You're probably like yelling at me through the screen that I do my hats so cheap. I just, I know, because my husband yells at me too. My mom used to yell at me that I'm like underpricing. I don't know. I just, I don't know. I gotta get better. Like, even my dolls, like, my unicorns are 20 to 25 depending on like how big they are. The ones that are all fancy that I have, they're 25. But I know. You're yelling at me. You're telling me I'm underpricing. I know this. I heard it all before. I don't need to hear it again, please. Don't yell at me. But yeah, like I feel like I try to be reasonable, I guess. Not that you're not reasonable, because I'm sure you are. I just meant I don't know. I'm a pushover gal, man. I really am. But no, I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I think I just get too much in my head with things, and like people get in my head and like, well, I can buy it here for this much that I sell my things for practically pennies. And a lot of work goes into them. Even though now I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I really am not. Um, but I can knit like like when I showed the Braves hat for Mr. Hoops. That only took me 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. Because I started the first one during the day and I got that done, but I did not like how it turned out. Let me go grab it. Hold on. Okay, I just realized I didn't even have to say hold on. I could have just been like, pause, and went to grab it. So this is it. Okay, you see how the A turned out really big. It's really nice, but then on the side, oops, it says Burr A. I didn't like it. And then I did it with the lighter blue. And like I said, it came out really nice, but it was way too big for what I wanted. I wanted it to be, how I made it, the smaller A, and you can actually see the, Braves. So he loved it. But I said to him, "You have husband blinders on. You love anything I make." So, I said, "No, this isn't it." He goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna wear this to work." I said, "No, you're not." So I redesigned it, I redrew it out, smaller, and Yeah, so I love the second one, how it came out. Came out just like I envisioned it. I could probably even go smaller, but no, I really like it. He loves it, and he loves beanies, so it's more beanie-like than like the bulky hat or whatever. But yeah, um, so, but anyway, I, mm, it all depends on what the hat is. It all also depends on if I have to create it, because creating a hat can take me a while. Um, because I draw it out. I don't have them posted. I think I have it somewhere, but um, I did Freddy Krueger for Mr. Hoot. I did his whole face. And I had to draw that all out. I did Gears of War. I think I have that on my Instagram, and I drew that all out. He loves Mr. Hoot. Oh, that was for a friend of his. Mr. Hoot loves Thundercats. So I did the Thundercat logo, which is like a Black Panther with red. And then I drew that all out. Um, I used Stitch Fiddle, stitchfiddle.com, and you can do crochet as well on there. It's free, but you can pay for little things, but you don't need to. It's all free to download and everything. So, um, yeah, I do Stitch Fiddle, and I create my charts, my graphs, all on there. And I'm trying to think what else I made hat wise. I mean, I can't tell you the recent ones I made. They're in my Hootified boxes that are being sent out. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it, I think. Oh, I did Baby Huey. I said that. I mentioned that. Um, I forget. I know I did more. I did Star Wars. I forget. I know there were more. But yeah, so that's the only thing that takes time is actually drawing it out, because you have to count, you know, how many stitches are in your hat, and yeah, and that takes some time mapping it all out. So if someone comes to me and goes, "Hey, can you make me a hat?" and it's a custom hat and they want it this way, and that's the only thing that takes me a little bit of time, is drawing it out and whoopsie, um, drawing it out, and getting everything organized that way. Otherwise, I can do it. So, yeah, otherwise it takes me pretty quick to like knit the hat. As long as it's like, you're going good. If you're okay, let me try to fix this real quick. So, this is easy. Okay. If you're going all the way in the round like this, that's simple. But right here, you see how it goes from the red to the blue. Now, I could cut the red and then I can go into the blue and then pull up another strand of the red again and then go all the way around. Or I could carry my yarn like this. You see? Those are the floats. So what you do is you carry your yarn, and every so many stitches you would wrap. And you have to wrap a certain way so you get like a nice even thing and it doesn't pucker. So that when you block it, it actually lays. This one I didn't block because this one's but yeah, so when you block them, it will like, stretch out and be nice and flat and everything like that. So those are the floaters. So that's what you can do. You can carry the yarn. Now, for the Gears of War, that one was tricky because it was just right here in the middle. So I want, and I didn't want to like carry the red, the whole way through the hat. It would make, I didn't want to do that. So I just did, um, the design, snip the yarn. And then another one, you do the design, you snip the yarn. And then in the back, you have all these loose, um, strands you have to weave in and everything like that. So that takes a little bit of time, way longer than it takes just continuing in the round like you would a Fair Isle type hat, or like, you know, a graph that, like my owl hat, the one that goes from owl to owl to owl to owl to owl. That was easy to keep going in the round and, doing like that. But yeah, it's so weird. I can do knitting like, mm, like I don't mean to sound cocky, but like nobody's business in those types of hats. But if I want to go crochet like a graph, I can't do it. I don't know what is wrong with me. Like I seriously can't do it. I tried and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I watched tutorial after tutorial. I'm like, well, that's pretty easy. It's the same thing as knitting. You're just carrying the yarn, you're color changing. Pfft, I'm telling you, man. I just don't know. I'm not giving up though. I refuse to give up. I'm gonna keep trying because I would love to do a graph gan. Um, and you know what else I can't do? C2C. C2, is it C2C? Yeah. Corner to corner. I can't do that either. What the heck? Like, I seriously, I mean, I can start it off, but like, all of a sudden I'm like, what? And I love the C2C graph gans, you know? Um, I love that. And yet I can't do that either. What the heck? That's my goal. That is something I really want to learn to do. Graph gans, or like, a graph and hat crochet. Um, Even though I love the knitting better, I'll still do it just because I need to learn. And then corner to corner. Like not just regular corner to corner Grifgan. That is what I want to learn because there's so many that I want to make. Um, like I want to do cute little rugs, like by the back door. How cute would it be, like, because I love owls, duh. But like make a corner to corner owl rug out of like the cotton yarn or something and put it down. And then I could like interchange it like for all seasons, like do summer, winter, because I decorate per season. I don't do holidays, I do per season. Um, I'm a holiday, I don't, yeah, I don't like holidays. We don't do holidays. We just do seasonal things and stuff. But anyway, I was gonna say something and lost my mind. uh, but yeah, I thought that would be so cute. Oopsie. That would be so cute doing like a corner to corner rug. And you know what? Here's the thing. Crochet A just had a craft fair. Now, if you have a craft fair that's coming up in the springtime, start making some doormats. People love doormats. Like the welcome mats, like you could do them corner to corner. I just gave you an idea. But yeah, if you know how to do craft cans, I'm telling you right now. Now I know in my area they sell hugely. Like every time AC Moore's would have their and they look woven rugs, they would just sell out. And even like placemats, people love like the pumpkin placemats. I know because I got them. But they have like pumpkin placemats. You can do snowman placemats or poinsettia, whatever you're into. Um, Different placemats. Um, but now I know cotton yarn, but let me tell you what. If you have a Hobby Lobby near you, seriously, I love this cotton will change your views on cotton. It is a dream to work with. It's definitely not that kitchen cotton. It's definitely not. It is so soft, so nice to work with. So, um, and check your Hobby Lobby because the lady told me every other week they do their sales. So, and like I said, I think I said this in one of my posts. When they have their yarn on sale for their 30% off, check in between because some of the things will be marked down. Um, Last week they had their pins and things like that all on sale. And in between, like the beads, there were beads for like 50 cents. And I stocked up because Lady Bird, she does, she makes things with beads in it and she uses the seed beads. So they had a whole bunch. So I have a box for her. I gotta send that soon before winter is over because I have Red Heart heat wave yarn for her. But anyway, I started collecting some beads for her. And um in between, like I saw some marked down. So I was like, oh shoot. Because somewhere like it was like 30% off, which was really good. Um and then they had some like 50 cents, 99 cents, $1.47. I was like, oh boy. So look in between. And also the yarn. I've noticed that too. And the lady said, look in between the yarns. Like, um, okay, so Monday, that's when they switch over. So yesterday they switched over. So this week the yarn's gonna be 30% off. So probably tomorrow they'll have their yarn, some of it marked down even more with the little red tags or orange tags, whatever. You just gotta look in between them. Um, because I know they do their like so many times a year, their big sale where everything's marked down and you find a lot for like $1.47, 50 cents, 99 cents, 70 cents, things like that. But you'll still see that here and there. You just gotta really check in between. I love my ladies at Hobby Lobby because they actually know their stuff. The ones that are working there, they're older, not that much older than me. I mean, like they might be like 50 or something, but I didn't mean like that. But I just meant they're smart. They're not like the young teenagers working that know nothing. And you're like, hey, you think this hook would work with this yarn? I'm like, what? you know? So, yeah, that's the thing. But, um, sorry, checking my battery life. But, yes, they are the best. And because I'm always going there. Ooh, I gotta tell you something. So, um, we went out the other day. I went to Disney, but we haven't been out of this house like together for the longest time ever. And then the one day, Mr. Hoot was like, you know what? Let's go out. Oh, let's get the kids can each get something. So they went to Ada went to the Disney store and Lissa, what'd she get? She got one of her little. She loves Rainbow High, so she got her Rainbow High collection at one of the new dolls. Her season 3 or something that's out, and she got one of her dolls at Target. And then, oh, Mr. Hoot was like, "You can go to Hobby Lobby," and he was like, "You could spend $100." So I was like, "Really?" Whoop whoop. Guess how much I spent? And this is unbelievable. Like I couldn't believe myself. I truly, truly couldn't believe me. I was like, who am I? Like, I go to Disney and I'm all of a sudden a new person because let me tell you. Now, okay, if I say this, I'm not trying to rub it into anybody's face. I'm not trying to act like I got boohoo money, at all. But there have been so many times I went to like Hobby Lobby and Mr. Hoot was like, you can have this much. And I would like go above and beyond over the limit and then come up like, I'm so sorry. They had a sale and I would have like 5 bags of, junk. Not junk, but yarn, goodness or whatever. And so I go in and I don't even know who I am. I only spent $35. I know everybody's heart just stopped. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh my goodness. I got, okay, I love their fiberfill. It is the best fiberfill ever. It is not that, oh shoot. I don't have the bag here to show you. This other fiberfill that just feels yucky. I wish I could send some, like a little bit to everybody to feel this. It is the best ever for amigurumi. I'm telling you, it is just the best. So I got a big box of it and it was $14.99, which is not bad. In that box, I can get like 10 large dolls out of it. You know, my unicorns, which are about like this big, okay? Yeah, I can get 10 of them out of it and probably my little dolls out of it too. Like I'm not kidding. I still have like a little bit in my other box, but I really needed some more. So I got a box of it. It lasts and I kid you not, it is the best. So anyway, I got that and then I needed black. I love this yarn. No pun intended. I seriously I love this yarn. Um, I got a little bit of that and then I got this one because I'm making a hat. Yarn Bee warm and cozy in the mustard. I love the warm and cozy. It is so soft. It's 78 acrylic, 13 nylon, and 9% polyester. I made a sweater out of this. I'm telling you. But yeah, the yarn wasn't on the sale, but that never stopped me before. I was just like, okay, and I just got what I needed. And then I walk out and Mr. Hoot's like jaws dropped because he sees I had like one tiny little bag and then Alyssa had a box of the cotton. And he's like, there's more, right? And I said, no, this is it. I was like, guess how much I spent? He was like, how much? I was like, 35. He was like, what did he say? He goes, this is why the cold weather's coming. And I was like, whatever. It was just so funny. Like, cause like seriously, I don't even know who I am anymore. Like, I went to Disney and I'm like, going on coasters, flying on airplanes, spending 35 at Hobby Lobby. Who am I? And I kid you not, like when I go to Hobby Lobby, I'm always spending because I will see things for other people and um I know I talk about my boxes a lot, but here's the thing. If you see my boxes, and I'm not bragging at all, you know why it takes me a while to fill them up. I don't like to send, if I'm going to send you something, I'm going to send you something. And I like to collect. Um, I don't, like I said, I like deals. So if I see something on sale and I notice that it's something like that you would like, your favorite color or something, then I'll get it. And sometimes they only have like two skeins. Sometimes they have more. So I get what I can, bring it home, put it in the box. And then once the box start once I know it's filled, then I'll want to ship it out. So anyway, that's what I do. But I don't know. I saw a whole bunch of stuff. I was like, oh, this is pretty. This is pretty too. Oh, and they had the velvet sparkle yarn. They had like I guess Christmassy colors, but it was so pretty, like red, cream, and green. And then they had like I forget what else. And yeah, I didn't grab it. I was just like, oh yeah, that's really pretty. Da 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 da. Like I didn't even buy a pin, and I'm always buying my pins because okay, my Etsy shop is a little dry, but I'm working on all of my pins because I thought, you know what, instead of putting like one or two items, I want to like at least put like 10, things all up there. So, and then ordered, they're like little earring things, but for the stitch markers. So I'm waiting for those to come, so then that way my stitch markers look pretty on there. But anyway, that's what I do, with my boxes. So, but I have to start sending them out. But yeah, it was so funny. That was so funny. Like, because Mr. Hoot and Aiden stayed in the car. Because Aiden, he loves the stores, but once he goes to his store, that's it. He's done. I don't mean to laugh, but he cracks me up. So he's like, so we're dying. Um, it wasn't funny that he was crying. He has autism. I know I keep saying that, but new people that might not know, sometimes he'll just, he'll have a meltdown, which is perfectly fine, calm him down, and I never let him think that it's wrong for him to have those emotions. That's very important. Like, I always tell him, Mommy understands. It's okay. Because he goes, Mommy, I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry. I said, I do. What do you have? He goes, autism. I said, yeah. What does it make you do? Makes my emotions run wild. I said, that's right. I said, and that's okay. You never change. You be you. If you have to cry, Mommy's right here to help hold you and make sure you're okay. So, like, we always try to tell him that, because I never want him to make him feel like he's different or he's unwanted, or he's a brat, because he's not. He really isn't. But anyway, it was so funny. We're going to Hobby Lobby. Oh, great. Oh, great. You're going to take a lifetime. This is just great. You're going to take forever. You always buy the whole store. You say you're going to be quick, but you're never quick. You take forever. I just want a normal life. And then me and Alyssa were dying in the store. He goes, I'm like, what kind of life does he have? That he just wants a normal life. So now and he wasn't crying. He was like saying that, like whining about it. But it was so funny. They all know that I take a year in Hobby Lobby. I used to love Michaels. I'm gonna cut this because this is already really long, but I'll just tell you this real quick. I used to love Michaels. We had, okay, AC Moore's, and then right across the street from AC Moore's was Michaels. And it was huge. It was just as huge as the AC Moore's. And AC Moore's was beyond big. And Michaels had rows upon rows, I should say aisles upon aisles of yarn. And they had it all organized. Like, they had all their premieres organized. Did they have Lion Brand? Yeah. Um, yeah, Lion Brand. And I'm telling you, like, finger and weight yarn, like, everything was organized. Like, if I needed, like, a sock weight, the lady goes, this is this aisle. And it was, like, all sock weight yarn. And it was like, I'm telling you, it was so nice. Why they decided to move the Michaels to this crappy little store, I'll never know. It is so cramped, okay? And it looks more like a scrapbook, or what's those? Oh, planner. It looks more like a planner store than anything. You go in and all you see is stickers upon stickers of, planning, and then you see the planning books. Um, they have some of their flowers, but it used to be so nice. They used to have flowers and everything for like the wreaths and like all types of stuff. A huge beading aisle, beautiful beads. They don't have none of that. They have like small cramped little stuff. And then the yarn is in the way, way, way back, and it's like a little like two little carts in like the aisles where you're walking. Two little carts, and then maybe like two tiny little aisles of the yarn. And that's it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And so I refused to go to Michael's. I mean, I went there to get the anniversary cakes, but they weren't for me. But I went there and got them, but that was it. I was not happy getting them. Because they leave them in the aisles, and then you're here, because I had to find like a nice one, because some of them were like all pulled apart. I'm like, this wouldn't happen at the old Michael's. Like, why? They could have had two. They could have just kept two. No one likes it. But people still go there, but I refuse. I don't like it. I like Joann's. Joanne stayed true and nice. And I love Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is the new AC Moore's for me, except they don't have the AC More prices. If they started getting AC More prices, I would definitely not be spending no $35. Let me tell you that much. Be spending way more. I love Hobby Lobby. I love their yarn. They do have Red Heart here and there. They'll have Red Heart, but they mostly have their brand, which, hey, I'm not complaining. Their brand is amazing. I got some I love this chunky for somebody, and they have like all new colors and it's gorgeous. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is beautiful." And I'm not even I can't say I'm not a fan of chunky. I do like chunky, but I wouldn't be my first go-to to buy. But oh my goodness. I'll have to dig in one of the boxes and show you one day, but well, you know what? You'll see when they get their package. But anyway, oh my goodness. It was just, I was like, oh my goodness, I always say, oh my goodness. Can I say that enough? But I was just like, wow, like it's beautiful. That's one thing. Like they always up things and they get new yarns in and they try it out. And I just love it. Like I seriously love it. And I love this yarn. I don't know which one I love more. If I love this yarn more or the big twist, because they both feel the same. They feel nice and soft. It's 100% acrylic, and so is the big twist. Um, the big twist, it's like the value yarn, but it's so soft, and it feels like I love this yarn. They're both so soft. But oh my goodness. And right now, Joann's is having the big twist on sale for $2.50. Or 2 for $5 and something like that. Yeah, 2 for $5 big twist. So 250 for the big twist. And I'm telling you, you need to get yourself some big twist. It is nice. It is really nice. And then they have and they're always getting new stuff. I have to go check out the new ones because Bag o' Day posted that they have this new yarn and I haven't checked it out yet. So maybe this week I'll have to go after Thursday, which is so cool. Um, every other year, Thanksgiving will either fall on my birthday or Aiden's. I'm the 25th, Aiden is the 27th. And this year, it's on my birthday, which, I mean, it's just cool that it falls on there. But then it will fall on Aiden's, which would be probably next year, right? The 27th, I think. I don't know, but it's weird. It switches like that. Yeah, Aiden, I tried, okay? I tried really hard to get him to come on my birthday. I thought that would be the coolest thing ever, but he was stubborn. Which was so weird. The whole pregnancy, I was in bed rest with him as well. And he wanted to come, wanted to come, wanted to come. As soon as because they thought he was twins. He was 8 pounds, 14 ounces, but my placenta was the twin. It was like 10 pounds. And they were like, here's your twin. I was like, don't show me that. That's nasty. But anyway, he goes, he was trying to come out, trying to come out. As soon as the doctor goes, okay, let him come. Nope. He was stubborn. I walked and walked and walked. I ate spicy crap. I ate a whole pineapple that burned the crap out of my tongue. I, ugh, I want to throw up just thinking about it. I took castor oil. Like I did everything. And nope. He just didn't want to come. And he refused. And they were going to um what's that called, induce me. So they were going to induce me, and next thing you know, um I woke up one morning and I was like, oh boy, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like all of a sudden I couldn't hold it in. And I stood up and I thought I was peeing myself. And I ran down the hallway and then I'm like, Jeff, wake up. I need new pants. I peed myself. And he was like, nope, you didn't pee yourself. And I was like, all of a sudden I got scared like I wasn't ready. I was like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I peed myself. And he was like, nope, I'm sorry. And my mom was downstairs. She goes, what? What's going on? What happened? And she was bed rest at the time, or trust me, she would have ran upstairs to me. And I was like, Mom, I'm scared. She was like, you did this before. You can do it again. I was like, he's a fatty. Because I was so scared. Um, but anyway, and oh my goodness, did that ever hurt? Like, I've never felt pain like that. Alyssa, it was a lot of pain, but she came out like, not Mr. Eden, all day long, and I hate needles. Like, at that time, I was scared to death of needles, and I was like, epidural me, which was the biggest mistake of my life, let me tell you. If you don't need an epidural, don't get an epidural. I had the most scary story ever. Um, to this day, I get migraines, and here, I have to talk about that one day. It's all 'cause epidurals. But anyway, yeah, I had an epidural, and yeah, pushing him was scary. It's funny. I mean, not funny, haha, but it's funny to say. But I actually died. Um, and then they had to bring him back, came back to life, pushed him out. And it was a hard pregnancy, so I cannot have kids no more. Um, I'm going to talk to my doctor. They were going to put a marina in me, but I want to see if I could just get my tubes tied. Yeah, I'll do that because I can't have any more kids. They said if I would have another one, it would be deadly. Um, and I know it would be because with Aiden, it was scary. Like, it was seriously scary. With Alyssa, it was very scary, but with Aiden, it was like beyond scary. But anyway, I am at 56 minutes. I'm so sorry that I chatted so much. I just feel like I haven't been on in so long because being sick and then like I'm telling you, I wanted to get on and I felt so bad and I tried and I couldn't. I couldn't even do anything. I couldn't make it downstairs. I truly thought that this was it for me. I I I'm not even kidding with you. Um I wrote letters to everybody. I hid them in the drawer cuz I thought I'm going to die. Like, I seriously thought this is it and I'm not going to wake up. And I thought, well, at least they'll know like they meant to me and things like that. um who gets what of my stuff. Don't throw things away because I know Mr. Hoot said if ever anything happened to me, he couldn't bear to see my stuff. He would throw it away. And I thought, no, store it away because one day you're going to want it. So, anyway, I don't want to be morbid, but I was scared. I was very scared because I've never felt like that. Like, I know I'm so dramatic and I'm always like, death's upon me. I feel the icy cold breath of death on my neck. Name the movie. But anyway, I'm always like dramatic like that. Um, in a funny way. Like, I like to joke around with the kids and Mr. Hoot and stuff. And yeah, no, this time I wasn't joking. I was scared. Mr. Hoot was scared. Like, the kids, Alyssa, she was so sick. I was scared for her. And I had my shots. I had both shots. Yeah. And yet, it was worse than the first time that I had it. And the first time I had it, I don't think I had the shots, did I? Maybe I had one shot. I don't know. But it was worse than the first time. It was 1,000 times worse. And it wasn't supposed to be. They said that, yeah, you'll get it, but, it would be mild. Heck no, that was not mild. That was not mild. Um, at all. So, alrighty, talk, 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 talk. Later, I will put up the tutorial for our little thing we're making together. Hopefully, you make it with me. Hopefully, you can understand it. I think when I did the snowman, you could understand it really good. I hope you can, and I hope you have fun making them. So, I will see you later. I hope you all are having a hooterific day. Hootin' out. Bye.